Ooh. Hey, welcome back to my bookshelf tour. No, this isn't my kitchen library. It's just I'm out here, so I'm not bugging Jaja while she's sleeping. I figured we'd do some Hernandez brothers, more Hernandez brothers. Of course, I'm doing it back assward. A lot of this is their most earliest stuff. Their comics, I think, initially came out in big kind of floppies like this, which that gives you the two brothers, um, Beto and Jamie. They're two comic styles. Both kind of not like soap opera, but just like a continuing story of these families. Beto kind of Palomar, and just kind of weird stuff like that. Jamie, Jamie, much more kind of, I think, kind of LA, kind of Latinx community in the United States. Apologies if I'm getting all my labels incorrect, but that's me. And they're all under, kind of the Love and Rockets thing. That is sort of, this is the volume one. I've got their collected volumes. This is volume one, which is a battered and bruised, probably not very valuable collection. Actually is signed by the two artists themselves, so that's actually not a bad thing. I've got that I have the first volume and I've got it signed by both of them. This is actually them definitely kind of at the beginning and kind of figuring things out, and a lot more rough-hewed. Um, they become they get they definitely kind of come into their own. There's a lot of I think Mario, their brother, at this point too, but as it goes along, so we get the various, they alternate on covers. So yeah, there's Beto and Palomar, and there's, I believe it's Luba with her hammer. I'm just definitely gonna zip through there. There's one, I think that's actually, is that a Beto? Oh yeah, actually that's a Beto cover, so yeah, it makes sense. It's a bit more cartoony with, yes, Jamie on the back. Kind of at that point, kind of young punk rockish, though you get stuff like that, which you can definitely see is like the telenovela kind of covers with a luchador character on the front. So it's definitely, it's, as a white dude Canadian, this was stuff that, like, it was like, it's interesting because to me that's truly kind of foreign land, because this stuff wasn't actually represented in all the American media that got beamed to me in the 80s and 90s. So this was like where I kind of got this stuff from the start, and it was like just sort of experiencing like a different culture, and also just like not like stereotypical, like, there might be kind of gangish kind of guys and gangsters and stuff like that, but there was actually just like actually human beings, and even the gangsters were human beings. There is, I think, is that a Jamie cover? I think that's a Jamie cover with like a little self-portrait of the artist in the background there at his artist table. But yeah, oh, Blood of Palomar. So yeah, we get into that series, which is thing, and Beto doing a little bit of a Pablo Picasso kind of thing on the back. Yeah, a couple of those there. Yeah, this is probably the height. Yeah, the flies on the ceiling. It's a very elusive writing, especially on Jamie's point, which probably means it's one of those things that would bear rereading, and closer reading from someone like me. But yeah, child's arm. Definitely getting on the dark side. Poison River. Yeah. The rough-edged Latin American minimalist stylized black and white comic strips have been widely described as the graphic equivalent of the fabulism of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the Nobel laureate. which I don't know. That's one of those things where I haven't read any Gabriel Garcia Marquez, but it's like, okay, is it just because someone is Latin that we're going to compare them? I mean, I don't know. Maybe the stories do overlap, but they're definitely their own thing. That you don't need to have that overlap there. But yeah, yeah, it's actually it's one of these series that I would probably actually I should pick up and try to do a concerted effort of reading it through, because I read it very piecemeal. So there's a lot of it that probably escapes me because it just it's supposed to be cumulative, but my memory was such that I wouldn't hold up to that. There's Girl Crazy, which I think is kind of the wrestlers, or is it superheroes? Which I think it might be female superheroes. Cha cha cha. Yeah. Very fun stuff. Gilbert Hernandez, Fear of Comics, kind of that wacky kind of a kids comic kind of stuff there. And then on the other side is Birdland, which actually it's probably the least sexy of their comics, which is an actual, they did a kind of erotic comic, which, yeah, in some ways is the least sexy comic of the lot there. Maybe, I don't know what that says about stuff. Oh, and then there's the New Tales of Old Palomar, where they kind of return to this is Gilbert returning to his larger style, but with more mature kind of pared down minimalist art, which yeah, they're good. Yeah. Good stuff. Let's get those. Focus on the back. We have 3 of them. I wonder if there's only 3, or is there one more than one? Ah, yes, the sheriff from Palomar. All right, I think that probably takes us through the Hernandez brothers, the brothers Hernandez, and Love and Rockets and Beyond Love and Rockets. Yeah, they have like such a one big giant kind of large story that it's hard to kind of take it in, other than it's like 2 kind of like sagas. Gilbert's actually much more a family saga, whereas Jamie, I feel like it kind of focused much more on individual characters, if I would say that way. And Jamie's got much more of a realist style, where Gilbert, where probably in my heart more rests with, has that more kind of broad cartoony style. I'm more of a broad cartoony kind of guy, but both really worth checking out. All right. We'll probably be back in the actual library, my office where all my books are next time. But yeah, okay, out in the fresh air of the kitchen with the window open. So yeah, there's my fresh air. All right. More bookshelf tours later.